Hey guys, E10 Sco here with RamsHouse.com, hanging out with Ryan J87. What's going on, man?
How's it going?
Not much, man. Just excited to dive into some of these David Long stats and film breakdown. We're going to get in depth here and find out why it was the Rams used one of their third-round picks on the cornerback from Michigan. So let's start off real quick with a little discussion about his combine numbers. David Long measured in at 5'11", 196 pounds. Fairly decent-sized corner, a little undersized in the eyes of some people, and that's actually one of the reasons, supposedly, that he dropped into the third round, is that people thought he was a little undersized. That didn't really seem to make much of a difference in college as he dominated, and we'll go over some of those numbers. He put up a 4.45 40, which is more than adequate, very solid number there. 15 on the bench, which is probably a little bit below average. 39.5-inch vertical, which is well above average. That's excellent. 120-inch broad, which is about average. And then this is where he excels, and this is a really important numbers for in the quarterback position, as he put up a 6.45 in the three cone, which was number one amongst all players in the draft, and it was the fourth best in the last 13 years that it's been recorded at the combine. So excellent in that. And then he put up a 3.97 in the 20-yard shuttle, which was also number one last year amongst all players eligible who did the combine. So the two agility numbers, he was absolutely spectacular in, and that is really important. Really important when you're talking about covering guys in their route running and their cuts and all the moves and double moves they're doing. The ability for you to react and be able to turn those hips quickly and stay with your man is super important, and you're going to see it throughout the entire bit of film that we're going to watch, how good he is at doing that. And it's one of the reasons why he very, very rarely gets the ball thrown towards him, because he doesn't really let people get open. So it's really interesting to find film on him. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the stuff that he put up. We start off with the overview from PFF. Ryan, I don't know about you, but seeing the advanced stats numbers, first, second, first is ridiculous.
Yeah, his numbers are just fantastic. I mean, I don't think I was as impressed as I was looking at this slide with anybody else. It's just fantastic that we're able
certainly not amongst their rankings.
And find him in the third round is I just don't know what other people
There's a real solid chance here that the Rams got a diamond and people just kept going, the diamond's not tall enough, or he doesn't have long enough arms, or whatever excuse.
Yeah, he's not tall enough by figurative this much.
He's 5'11". 96 pounds. He's a decently sized corner. Everyone wants that 6'2" monster with 33-inch arms or 32.5-inch arms. This guy is a legitimately sized corner. He's more than adequate in his size. You guys see up at the top right, he was only targeted 29 times in 2017 and 31 times in 2018. So he rarely gets thrown to, but he also rarely allows receptions. The passer rating allowed, it's just all this stuff is nuts. So as we look at the advanced stats, we have yards per coverage snap. So he allowed literally 0.14 yards per snap that he was in coverage, which is insanity. Snaps per reception, he did almost 33 snaps for every reception allowed. He only allowed 9 receptions all season long. So it wasn't like he was allowing much. Passer rating allowed, number 2 in the nation, 36.9. Forced incompletion rate, which is your interceptions and pass breakups combined against the amount of total targets that were allowed. So he, which is obviously incredible, 32.3, phenomenal number. First downs allowed 2 all season. That's for an entire year. He allowed 2 first downs. And then a completion rate of 29%. So if you're throwing towards David Long, you're going to complete 29% of your passes, which is...
And you're not going to get a first down.
If you did, you were literally, you might as well bought a lotto ticket that day, because you were striking some good luck there. All right, now we're looking... So this is interesting, and I really am excited to point this out to you. So yeah, you can see from the stats that he did really well for 2 years, but he was epically good for 2 years. This is 2017. This is amongst all corners who were eligible to be drafted in the 2019 draft. Number one in US yards allowed per coverage snap. So just ludicrous. So he was number one in back-to-back years, and this is his lowest passer rating when targeted. For the 2017 season, he only allowed a 17.6 QB rating, which I think in the overview slide it was something a little bit lower. It's 11.9. So sometimes they adjust those things after the season is over. And so this is his actual 2018 stats. And you see the other people on the list: DeAndre Baker, Byron Murphy, Greedy Williams. All these guys are top flight corners. I think they were all actually taken before him too, which is funny.
Yes.
Passer rating on 36.9, freaking incredible. Even among some NFL players, that'd be nuts. And if you looked at the schedule for Michigan, they played top flight school after top flight school. Like they just played like the best of the best schools all season long. They only played like 2 or 3 bad teams, and everything else was just ridiculously good teams. And then, of course, last but not least, the lowest reception rate. So this was the 29% reception rate allowed isn't just like the lowest in college. It's the lowest by like almost 8%, which is just insanity. Like just like you see the fifth guy is less than 3% separated from the number 2 guy, and he's almost 8%. but he's that guy. So it's just crazy how efficient and effective he was. And we're gonna see in the film how exactly he's able to accomplish that. And I'm going to give you a little spoiler here. The main thing that he does that's just phenomenal is his ability to press, his jamming, his physicality at the line of scrimmage, and his ability to turn his hips and stay with the finish. I mean, this dude, it's actually kind of a boring film session because the majority of what we're going to be watching is just him sticking to his guy and the quarterback, like, deciding that it would be an awful decision to pass towards him. So like the majority of it doesn't really even involve him. It just shows him how phenomenal he is at sticking with his guys. But we're going to start early in the season, first game of the year, when they were playing Notre Dame, who was a really, really talented team. All right, Ryan, you ready to watch some Notre Dame footage here?
Absolutely. Let's get it.
All right, let's check it out. So one of the reasons why we actually picked this film out, I'm going to rewind it real quick, is because we can see, I mean, we're starting at the 25. We can see him all the way to, like, just right on there. Immediately gets on him outside. This dude happens to be pretty fast, if I'm not mistaken. We can see 15 yards down, or what is that, 10 yards downfield. He's still right on his hip. Still even at that point. And then we get a little peek right here that he's still up there at the 50, right with his man after the ball's released. So, like, with the entire play, he's just stuck to that guy.
Just lockstep with the receiver, which is perfect.
This is kind of the same thing. Now watch that rotation. I don't know if you can see it. I'm going to rewind it a little bit and see if we can catch that. So he's up here. He's coming down to get with this dude. And watch, the guy makes a kind of a slight move inside and then goes out. Here's you see the little hesitation fake inside, and then boom, breaks out. And watch the way watch how fast this guy rotates. It's hard to see, but this is the end result. He's right on his man. Like he's on there, but he rotates really fast, keeps up with the double move. And if you guys remember, actually, that was one of the things they kept talking about Marcus Peters was struggling with. That's not really Marcus Peters' game, to be like that press man close on somebody. So he's not used to having to like deal with double moves in that same exact way. But David Long is not fooled as badly by double moves, and he's also got that really incredible hip rotation to keep up with. That was solid, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's absolutely perfect.
So he's up top here. I mean, this dude's unshakable, man.
Little hands right there, but
that was actually the receiver, I think. Watch.
Yeah,
both of them. Yeah. They're on it. This is a touchdown, but actually one of the things I want to show you, because Michigan is one of the best defenses in the country, and they get like the receivers who aren't being guarded by David Long in this game are killing. They're killing Michigan, and Michigan is a phenomenal defense. And he switches off between 2 guys mostly, Miles Boykin and the other main receiver from Notre Dame. I'm drawing a blank on the name right now, but he's up top here again, and he's just freaking. Now that is one of the moves that you're gonna find that's the reason I added this in there, is because that's one of the moves that you're gonna find he's susceptible to, that he needs to clean up at the next level, is just like a hard inside move on a slant. Now watch the way this guy just kind of shoves him and gets open and gets clean. See that's a freaking big distance, man. That's not gonna work at the NFL level. That's one of his weaknesses I found so far. Now the guy doesn't get the ball thrown to, but that in the film, I think we're gonna see that once or twice, maybe a couple more times. On those slant routes where he kind of just gets shoved to the side, which is weird because one of his strengths is his press game. He's at the bottom here. Now that time he got that arm on. He got the inside hand on the receiver to slow him down the line, and then same exact really play. He's doing the slant and he's on him the whole time. He did a much better job. You can't have somebody completely displace your body on that inside shove move, you have to get a hand on that guy, because we talk about it all the time, how important press is, and how important to, if you're the one getting jammed by the receiver instead of you doing the jamming, that guy's going to get off to a really fast start to his route.
Well, and especially when you're going up against a guy. I think he was on that previous play. He's going up against Miles Boykin,
who's 5 inches taller.
Yeah,
like 25 or 30 pounds heavier. Yeah,
and he's
huge.
Not afraid, and
No.
David Long's not afraid to bump him. So it's good to see, especially when you got big receivers in this particular division, Metcalf and up in Seattle now. So it's going to be nice to see what he can do
for sure. I mean, Metcalf's not going to be able to. I mean, by the time Metcalf makes a single turn, David Long will have run 3 or 4 circles around him. So I ain't worried about that. All right, he's up top here, and this is a really solid D. Kind of going for the little hesitation, kind of shake move, and David Long's not biting on it.
And if you go back, he's even in front of the receiver, breaking inside. So he's
look at his hips.
Running.
This guy's gonna do a little hesitation out and back in, but David Long doesn't bite, and he's just right on him.
Yeah,
solid D all around.
He's in front of the receiver, so he kind of runs the route for him. So the quarterback had nowhere to go on against David.
He's down. This is Boykins. You can tell by how effing big he is. He's down here on Boykins.
Is that Boykins?
Yeah, look how big he is. He's huge, dude.
They got some big receivers, man.
It's true.
No, that's not Boykin. That's because Boykin's 81.
So
yeah, that was the one play that I kind of saw. But if you roll the tape back, the receiver kind of gets away with it.
You got to watch it really closely, but he gets a little bit of push off here, right? They have arms locked here, but you'll see it's really hard to see.
Right there, he kind of throws
pushes
him
off, and then he gets some clean separation. But what I liked was the tackle, solid tackle.
Yeah. So I mean, you don't like to see that, but at the same time, I mean, David
solid
Long,
recovery. Yeah, it's gonna happen. So we're not looking for the good. We're looking for anything, and that wasn't a positive play. But he did recover nicely, and he ended up getting the tackle, which is solid because a lot of guys aren't able to recover that. So I'll take it. He's on the bottom here again. This is just a nice little. Yeah, this is just a nice little.
And then
willing tackler.
Yep.
Look at it.
On a big quarterback too.
Yeah, big quarterback. Look at this freaking. It's just an outside run, but look at the way he rotates and then goes. Boom. That dude did not gain a half a step on him. Lockstep the entire time. Beautiful. And that's what you're looking for. I mean, a lot of times with receivers and corners, those plays are won in the first 5 yards. That's what press man is about. It's about throwing your guy off kilter a little bit, trying to get him off balance on the beginning of his route so that you can, more effectively keep with him as he's running through his route. So this is solid the way he's able to get his hands on the receiver and kind of force him to where he wants them to go. And in fact, if you look closely on a lot of these plays, because you're talking about moving the receiver to where you want him to be, he's going to push his receivers all the way out of bounds in some of these plays. If you look closely, it's actually pretty funny.
Kind of gets beat right there.
No, that's not him. That's me showing you again, because he's up top here. That's me showing. First of all, watch him keep up with his man up here, but that's me showing you again. No matter how good this defense is, these guys are torching the other cornerbacks. Look at him up top, though. Again, right on his guy, but dude, just getting torched. He's been guarding 81 for large portions of the video.
Yeah, and I just
this
like
is
I was
a bad
saying
play.
before.
Like, this is a poor effort or attempt to break off and get a tackle. Because watch the screen build up. Like you knew this was coming. Like the screen was clearly coming, and like right here, we've seen NRC and Talib make the play where they instantly just sprinted out here to stop that before it happens, and he kind of hesitates, and then he gets stuck. Like this tight end's like, "What are you gonna do?" And he just kind of does nothing. So it's kind of a bummer, but that's something you got to learn.
Yeah, one of his weaknesses was in run support, but I think
he's a willing tackler. I think he just kind of like hesitates. I don't know. He needs to.
Yeah, he doesn't know what to do. Yeah, so.
All right, top. The speed at which he rotates those hips, man, to keep up is nuts. Backpedal, turn. Like it's okay. Now we're on to Michigan State, and this actually gonna get thrown to him, I think. Yeah. Now that's one of the ones where you're like, okay, he kind of lucked out there. He did get beat on that play, and so let's rewind that and watch it back. And I don't know, we don't quite get to see because at this point he's got his hands on him. He's actually a good starting here. His hips are facing the outside, which is where the guy's going, so it's a nice start. I don't know at what point, but at some point where we can't see, he gets left behind quite a bit. This guy's open, and this should be a catch. And that was one of those where you're like, okay, he got away with it. And everyone gets away with it. Even the best corners who get beat still get away with it every now and then because the receiver drops the ball. But it's important that we notate that film too.
Yeah, receiver gets smoked though. Oh, here we go.
Oh, that was it. He was going for a pick, and the ball was thrown farther back than he thought. That was actually pretty easy to tell. Forgot about that.
Yeah.
I mean, like, he's got his whole body right here turned around. It's like, yeah, I'm going for this interception, but the pass was thrown higher and further out than he intended. See, that was an easy catchable pass. That was an easy catch. That guy totally dropped it.
He's a little bit more inside, which is good.
But look at that. The hands,
He's
see,
everywhere.
it's a sack, but like, it's a fairly quick sack. But look at the hands, the jamming at the line of scrimmage. Like, hands, and he's got it all the way through the 5 yards and probably a little bit afterwards. But he was just lockstep, hands on that guy. You could see it really well from the left side here. You see him, he's up here, just on his dude. No question about it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and it was a fairly fast sack, but sacks happen because coverage is tight. If that guy got away, if that guy got a nice move at the beginning, he could have gotten open. You never know. Here's the same thing. Look at his hands there. Same exact thing. He's got this one shows a lot better his press ability and his. Now that one he actually that was actually interesting because he missed the press. Did you see that? He missed jamming the receiver, but he recovered really well because that's the agility and the speed. Now watch, he's gonna kind of whiff on anything right there, and he just recovers, and he's up there. Like, that guy's not gonna outrun him, and he's certainly not gonna outmaneuver him.
Gives him a little bit of a taunt there.
Yep. A little push, a little bit of this is I'm just highlighting how physical he is in this game at the line of scrimmage. Every one of these plays where he's not even close to it, look at him. He's hands all over him, and then no question, bro. No question.
Like, he's looking for a flag. He's not gonna get
this guy's like, I don't want to go against long game. I'm just gonna dive on the ground. That's the only reason I put that one in there. Because he just dove on the ground. Now watch, this is like the next play. Watch the replay of this, though. The replay is sexy. Watch how he just straight dominates this guy all the way down. Look at the physicality. Hands on. Bro, you ain't got nothing on me. Lets him go right at 5 yards. Really solid. And then just freaking bodying him, man. It's just crazy. Look, this guy gets forced out of bounds. You see it?
Yep. They're trying to drive him because, they're testing his size.
I know.
And they can't.
He just drove a guy all the way out of bounds. Like, that's some ability, dude. That was another one of those inside moves where he actually got beat on. It was a much better recovery than last time, but it was the exact same. He lost the hand fight at the beginning. The guy swatted his arms away, and boom. See the little jam there? He got beat. He recovered better, but still, that should have been a catch. It should have been a fairly easy catch. It was a solid recovery.
You're talking about this is the third quarter, and you could see the receiver getting a little bit aggressive with that.
Frustrated, man.
So they're probably frustrated as hell. So nice to see him kind of recover a little bit. But yeah, you're right. In the NFL, that'd probably be a 8-yard gain or so.
But I don't know. He dove over the top. Maybe he knocked it down. I don't know. It's hard to see in that angle. But yeah, he's up top again. More physicality. Look at he's literally keeping up while like backpedaling or side pedaling there. You see that? Mm-hmm. Like, he doesn't even need to be running. He's like, it's pretty crazy. That one, same thing, kind of gotten beat on an inside move. And in the NFL with a good throw and a good receiver, that's a freaking catch and could be gone. That was the same. See, he whiffed on the punch there, and he just freaking on the inside moves. He tends to get beat every now and then. But on the outside moves, he is stellar. Yeah. He's not getting beat outside at all. The one that he got beat where we were like, he kind of got lucky. He turned for a pick early. Like, he just turned too early, which is just an awareness issue. There's another inside move where, I don't know, that's kind of, luckily for him, this guy slows down because he could have been gone if he tried. And then he does, I don't know, it's not a lot of separation, but I like the way he recovers when he gets beat at the line of scrimmage on some of those inside moves.
Just so physical.
He's physical, man. He's very physical. That one again. They should have thrown that ball. They had a chance. They could throw it after the fact, bro. My boy is caught up by then.
Yeah. Yeah, they're all frustrated right now.
Oh yeah, dude, you can feel the frustration. You can feel it. They're like this. Oh man, that was a nice hit into his own bench. This is too long. Not even a question.
Yeah.
Taunting.
Yeah.
Look, the double move did not fall for it.
Nope.
Didn't bite at all. There's a lot of flags in this game. I think this is a flag on long. One of these is a flag on long.
Yeah, this is the game where.
Oh yeah, that was one of the catches against him. That was one of 9 catches against this man.
Yeah, this is that game where Devin Bush scrapes his foot against the Michigan logo in the middle of the field. They don't like each other.
So yeah, we saw one of the catches there, but you see, like, that's the other thing is no one's getting yards after the catch on this guy either. Like, that's why he barely allowed any yards. Talking about what was it like a 0.19 yards per coverage snap, and you can see why he rarely gets thrown to, and when he does, he doesn't allow yards. And this is a sack, but again, it's just solid D. Like, that was, if you actually look closely to the quarterback, that was where he was looking. He was looking at that receiver to see if he could beat his one-on-one. He looks. Oh no, never mind. That must be a different play I was thinking of. He's looking at the other side, but still solid play. Dude, when people run outside of that guy, he doesn't lose that.
No.
He has some weaknesses inside, but outside he is solid. Now we're going against Penn State. I think there's a replay that shows some solid. Look at this dude. You see him up there? Just keeping lockstep with this guy. I love that. I love his physicality. I love his physicality, man. He's get his hands up. Inside though, like, he didn't get beat bad, but it's not. You see the difference between the outside game and the inside game, right? Like, he's way better facing people when they go outside. Like, watch the little inside move here. Just gets a lot more clearance, and he keeps up with them. There's no question about it. But he doesn't get that same jam on guys going inside than he does outside. I don't know quite what the difference is for him, but like that again, he didn't get his hands on that guy, and he's keeping up fine. Like, his recovery ability between his speed and his agility is phenomenal, but that's something he's gonna want to improve, his ability to jam people at going inside. This is actually freaking phenomenal.
Oh.
This is just straight play recognition. Watch the replay on this play.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's pure awareness.
He breaks off early, like this guy's got his eyes locked on this dude, so there's no question about that. Like, he peeks and he sees this guy's like basically freaking undressing 83 right now. Like, he's just got eyes locked on, and he immediately breaks over and just there in the right spot for that pick. Nice awareness, good hand-eye coordination. Now we're going to Ohio State, baby. This is where it goes. That was a good D, though. That's him. That's a good defense, man.
Yeah, this was a really good play.
Yeah.
And honestly, he probably should have had a pick.
Yeah, probably. And you know what's funny about that play is at the beginning of this play, it looked like he was actually potentially. So there's a little motion here, and didn't get a single hand on him. He took off as he was still kind of moving.
Yeah.
And then that's kind of when you're worried, but his recovery was phenomenal. Some really good recovery. So the thing is, like, when you see people not throwing to him, this is why. This is what he does. It's not a great throw, but even if it was a good throw, he still would have batted it down. He was still in such a good position. This is actually to him. This is another one where he turned early. Same exact thing as last time.
He got away with that.
He got away with it from an early turn.
But I mean, even if you catch that, I mean, his
safety was close.
Stats.
Yeah.
Well, the stats.
They're still phenomenal.
Yeah, these receivers were torching everybody not named David Long.
Yeah. Well, you can see a little bit on this replay. Watch him. I mean, watch this dude. Not an inch of space, man.
Yeah.
It's like he struggles to turn his hips towards the inside. It's not like bad, but it's not like as elite as the outside.
Right.
This is to him again.
Yeah.
Nothing. They call PI on this, which is bull.
That's
watch the replay of this. I thought. I mean, he's got his hands on the guy, but the other guy. I mean, it's just a.
I mean, it's just a little ticky tack.
The other one is worse. The other view, this view is worse. He's got his hand, but it's not very long. I mean, in the NFL, that crap happens on every play.
Yeah.
Double move, not falling for it, and then but see, dude, like this Michigan team is good. They're really good, but he's the guy who's not getting torched like these guys are. So that's actually the end of the video. But overall, though, man, solid, right? Like he is really hard. He has a little bit of weakness to the inside, but for the most part, he's physical. He jams people line of scrimmage. He covers the outside runs phenomenally.
I mean, he's got a nose for the ball. I mean, he's got a nose for exactly where his man is. And that goes to route recognition.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, it's really good to see, and especially in the third round. I mean, you're talking about one of the, I would say, elite press man corners in a defense like Wade Phillips.
Perfect fit.
That
man.
requires it. It's just a perfect fit.
Not to mention, like, what do we? It was John Harbaugh, right? Coach of Michigan. I always get John and Jim confused, but John Harbaugh, Michigan. He's a great coach, but this is still college. Like, they still have classes. They have all kinds of college shenanigans. This guy's about to make it to the NFL. He's about to start learning from guys like Aqib Talib. About to start learning from the really elite corners in the NFL and some really elite coaching talent. I mean, Wade Phillips, man. And we love our positional coaches and stuff. And as good as he is already, he's probably one of the elite press man cover corners that we've seen for a little while, not just this draft. I mean, his Pro Football Focus stats clearly show that, and the tape shows it. He's not perfect, but dang, he's really good at some stuff, and he's decent at some stuff that can be improved. So I'm excited to see what he can do with some time to learn from some of the best in the business. And this is probably a situation, in my mind, similar to John Johnson, where, like, you know, by year two, he's like, and especially if Talib dips out, he could be a freaking Pro Bowler.
Yeah, and I don't see a way where Aqib is on the team for much longer than 2019, if at all. So you, in a sense, I think we were talking about this a little bit ago, where you have Marcus Peters, who's ready for a new contract. You can literally swap the money from Talib to Marcus Peters, and now you have David Long on the opposite side. So
and they're both contract
on a bargain, and they're both super young. That could be our defensive backfield.
You're talking about a DB a secondary of Peters, David Long, Nikhil Roby-Coleman, and then at safety we've got John Johnson III and Taylor Rapp. Like that now, that's young secondary.
Well, yeah, I mean,
young secondary, but talented.
Weddle's probably not going to go anywhere for probably 2 years, and you know we're thinking Taylor Rapp, as you were mentioning in the Taylor Rapp video, is a really good, you know, dime, you know, almost linebacker type. So I mean, you could then move. You could have Taylor Rapp as a type of linebacker and have Weddle in the back. But if Weddle is your oldest player in that secondary, I mean, that's pretty awesome.
He's oldest by a lot, too. I mean, you're talking about...
Yeah, he's oldest.
Next year, if Talib goes, we're talking about our oldest secondary guy being, besides Weddle, being, you know, like 27 or 26 or however old Peters is going to be. Like, it's not going to be bad at all. We're going to have a really young, talented secondary. You know, we obviously have a pretty solid, and once Brockers goes next year, we'll have a really young, solid defensive line with Donald and Gaines and whoever we put at the other defensive end spot. And we're trying to develop what appears to be a young edge rushing core with, you know, guys like Dexter Fowler and Samsung Ibukam and Obo Okoro, and we're trying to, you know, continue to cultivate that stuff. So our defense is starting to shape into what our offense is. Our offense is like a lot of long-term young talent that's locked up for like a while and is super young core. And now we're starting to see that vision of a long-term young core on the defensive side to take shape.
And they're all high awareness, high IQ players. I mean, just for like David Long, just to kind of circle back to him. I mean, the guy's just got a terrific feel for where the ball is placed, and he's always in the back pocket of the receiver, and you have to be smart to be able to do that. So for us to be able to pick up somebody like David Long in the 3rd round is just that just goes to how smart these guys are at drafting. I mean, it's pretty impressive the draft stock that they've been able to cultivate. I'm really impressed, especially going through years with Spags, Delaney. I mean, Jeff Fisher. I mean, you hit on 1 out of 7, and these guys are hitting on 4 out of 7
Right.
or so. So I mean, this guy looks to be the part. He's got some stuff to polish, but that's why he's not.
You know what it
that's
is?
why he's done in the 3rd round.
They're a lot more intentional. They're not. I think they steer away from the big board model and they go, these are the guys that we want right here. Like these are the actual people. Because if you watch the draft videos that the Rams put up on their Twitter or on their website, one of them shows them talking about, McVay's like, we got to get Taylor Rapp here. This is the place where if Taylor Rapp won't be available on our next pick, we got to take Rapp here, and then we can take Henderson with the next pick, which was a ways off. The next pick wasn't that soon. So they're already talking about taking Henderson like 25 picks later or whatever it was. So the planning is legit. Like they already know what players they're wanting, and they talked about Gaines the whole time.
Yeah. That's what I was gonna say. Like they're talking about Gaines in the 4th round or so. So it's really cool. Everything seems methodical. Everything seems, hey, this is what we're gonna do, planned out. So it's good to see, and I can't wait to have this guy kind of sit behind an Aqib Talib and really understand how to be a pro and really kind of soak it in, so that when he's ready in 2020 to kind of take that starting spot,
mantle.
he's ready to go. So I'm pretty pumped about Mr. Long here.
Yeah, Long's going to be a solid future Pro Bowl, all-pro quality corner for the Rams as a press man, and then allowing Marcus Peters to continue to do what he does best, what he did for the the very deep
and you
second
need
half
that.
last year.
You need a guy who's a tad bit more lockstep, and you have a risk taker, and you have kind of guy that does what he has to do, if that makes sense. So with Aqib Talib and Marcus Peters, you have a good kind of
I just can't wait.
Difference of game.
I can't wait because it's like, okay, well, your number one receiver's taken away because David Long's on him. You throw to the other side of the field, you risk an interception against Marcus Peters. Good luck throwing to your tight end or running back because we have, Corey Littleton and John Johnson or Taylor Rapp there. Like, bro, pick your poison. But that's what we have on offense right now, and we're building that on defense, which is super exciting. But guys, I appreciate you guys watching our David Long video. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and comment below. Let us know what your favorite parts of David Long's game are. And then we'll be getting ready our next video here for our next draft pick in the 3rd round. And yeah, be ready for that one. We're obviously going to be doing one of these for every player drafted. And then, of course, some of the undrafted players, undrafted rookies that we've got. So thanks for watching, guys. And as always, till next time.
Go Rams.